Welcome to One Eye Open TV.
He's a good friend of mine. I used to spend a lot of time taking drugs with Teddy, and Lee had kids to Teddy's sister, and he was very close with Teddy. And I used to sit in awe and listen to Teddy talk about Lee, and he would tell me all these stories, and I would just be sitting listening. And he says, Paul, he said, he come in one day, early hours in the night, he said, I'm asleep. He says, yeah, so I opened my eyes like that, he had a gun in my face. I was like, whoa, what you doing, Lee, what you doing? He went, get up quick. So he woke up, he said, I comes downstairs. He said he had fucking piles and piles of drugs. Crack cocaine, he had, the table was full. He said, me and you were taking all this. He said he made me sit and smoke and sniff the lot with him. And when it was almost gone, made him play Russian roulette.
What?
Took all the gun bullets out. Boom, clicked the bullet in. Listen, he span it. He went, right, you go first. He went, no. He went, shh.
Fuck off.
He went, you go now. Teddy's going, no, I'm not playing.
Holy shit.
So he went, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it. And he pointed it in the air and went bang, and blew an hole in the ceiling. And on Teddy's house, it's all black tiles and one red tile, and you still got the hole in the ceiling.
Oh,
They've left
shit.
it. He goes, look. And I was like, wow. He said,
Whoa.
and he looked at Teddy and went, I was really going to point that at your head there as well. Teddy was like, Teddy said, I said, what did you do? He went, I just ran out the house, I just bailed. I just started laughing my head off. I was like, wow. Fucking hell.
I think Wildman appreciates that story. He's over here.
Bless him.
Let's bring him in. He was obsessed with Lee Duffy, and he sent me a book, actually. It was about Fight to the Death, Lee Duffy versus Viv Graham.
Yeah.
He sent me that book when Wildman got out of Arizona prison. He said, you gotta read this, man. I heard about these guys when I was in... He was in prison over your way when he was a teenager. And, yeah, man. But I'm really fascinated by it all as well now. It's just where he goes in and just knocks out bouncer after bouncer after bouncer.
Well, my lass's dad, my partner's dad, took him to Newcastle.
Yeah.
He took him to Newcastle and watched him do that at the Dorman and going in and shouting, get Viv down here and stuff like that.
Yeah.
My lass's dad was very, very close with him. He done it the same to my dad.
Really?
To my lass's dad, pointing the gun at him.
Yeah.
Being pushed out the way and he blew the church roof off. He's crazy, man. He's crazy. But he was all like out banter in his head.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like my lass's dad loved him, loves him. He was I can't speak highly enough of him and misses him to death. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but in them days, it was like now it's like fucking hell. When you hear the stories, it blows your mind. But in his head, it was just banter. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have done it really. Mental.
So, robbing drug dealers created a lot of enemies for him.
Yeah.
And it seems that a lot of people were out to get him by the end.
Yeah.
So how did it turn from him being on top of the world to these people getting the better of him?
Truthfully, I don't think they ever did get the better of him. But it become too much for him, I'd imagine. It's like, one of my friends told me, he says, Paul, he says, they pulled up, a couple of guys who from the local area pulled up, and obviously they were drug dealers, they were getting robbed all the time. So he's pulled up, they jumped out with a shotgun, he stood outside the pub doing the doors on his own, and they went, here, and he's turned around and he's went, fucking do it, kill me. And he just walked towards him going, go on then. And they just jumped back in the car and fucked off. I said, that sounds crazy, that. I says, why, like, was he worried? Was he frightened? He went, Paul, he said, truthfully, mate, he said, it looked like he wanted them to, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If a man's not shown fear and he just wants to, he's like, fucking do it.
He's just laughing at him.
Like, fuck
Yeah.
It's mind blowing, man.
So, before he died then, didn't he get shot in the foot or something? Lee?
Yeah. He got shot by, I think it was lads from Birmingham, I think.
But he was out quick. He was back on his feet quite quickly, wasn't he? Even though he got shot.
He was back doing the doors on the cast.
Was he dancing on a crutch or something?
Mad. He had a cast on and he was still doing a couple of doors.
Yeah.
Down, yeah.
Wow.
Mental. He used to stand, like after that had happened as well.
Yeah.
He used to stand like on the main road with his back to the main road, just stand like that.
Yeah.
You know, and like my mate used to say, I used to see him after he'd been shot and people were after him and things were happening and you'd hear stories and you'd go through the town and you'd see him stood with his back against the road, just his arms crossed, stood there like thinking, you know, like, I used to think, now he's off at him. Do you know what it's like
Yeah.
a mentality used to go, like, is it this aura, like he's untouchable, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But like,
yeah.
oh no, like it's just it's chilling to think, innit? Do you know what I mean? When you think about it, thinking he just stood there, like knowing that, like you gotta kill me.
Yeah.
Do you know?
So he gets shot in the foot. Now a guy tries to set fire to him in a pub as well.
Yeah.
What happened there?
He was picking on the guy's brother, or something along them lines.
Did he try to set fire to the guy's brother?
No. Lee was onto the guy's brother or something. He was I think he was threatening the guy's brother or doing something along them lines. So this guy who set him alight, he'd come in and found out that Lee was torturing his brother. So he asked Lee for a couple of quid. He said, lend us 3 quid, Lee. So Lee would give him the 3 quid. And where the pub was, over the road, like through the tunnel, is the petrol station, as the petrol station. So he's walked over, filled the petrol on, come in, swilled him, and then tried to light matches, tried to set him alight.
Jesus.
And Lee kicked the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I live just on that doorstep, like right round the cut, like 10 seconds away from that pub where it happened. Absolutely, man. I still see the guy as well today.
So he was covered in petrol then?
Yeah, but not just Lee. He'd covered a few.
He covered a few?
If he'd have lit, excuse me, if he'd have lit that match, I dare say a few people would have went up.
So why wasn't the match lit?
Couldn't light it. I stood there with a lighter like that. Bloody hell.
And didn't Lee take some quick action? Like he ran outside
Ran
or something?
outside,
to put his-
stripped off, yeah.
Yeah,
Ran
yeah.
outside, stripped off, come back in and kicked the living shit
So he
out
was
of him.
naked when he beat the guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's been shot. A guy's tried to set fire to him. What actually happened on the night then that he was killed? Were they different enemies?
I've heard a few stories, and I've heard a few stories around it all, and you know, it's truly know what happens. You should always put your finger on it, but I've heard from good sources that like Allo was a tough man himself.
Was that the one who tried to set fire to him?
No, that's the man who stabbed him.
Okay.
And he was a tough man, Davey. He was a tough man. He was a fighting man himself, and I think Lee, I'd had a few run-ins with him, and they were fighting a lot, and you know, I think Lee was just too much for most men, for anyone really, and I think he was giving Allo it in a bad way. From what I know is someone slid him a knife. He's managed to get it. Bosh stabbed him under here, in the armpit, main artery. Potentially wouldn't have killed him if someone had put pressure on. If he'd have put pressure on and waited maybe 10, 15 minutes for the ambulance to get, he'd still be alive now. But he ran, he jumped about and started, you know, a bit more